Sometimes being needed gives something back.
Whether your day started as planned or you woke up with a surprise in your arms, I'm glad you found Coffee with Dubs. Today we're talking about that strange kind of energy that shows up when somebody needs you.
Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee with Dubs. Yesterday, I talked a lot about my son Keith and what it feels like to watch your adult children build lives that carry them farther away from you. My daughter Lexi's story is different. She lives here with me and my wife, and so I get to watch her build her adult life and become a mother without the same physical distance between us. And because of that, I get something I wasn't expecting at this stage of my life. I get to see my grandson Braden every single day. And that distinction matters because I don't look at one of my kids staying close to home and the other moving away as one being better than the other. They're simply building different lives. Keith's finding his place farther from home while Lexi's building hers closer to it, and I somehow get to see it from the front row on both fronts. Yesterday had me thinking about supporting a child as he moves outward. This morning reminded me of how incredible it is when another branch of your family is growing right here beside you. Normally, I'm not the director of morning baby operations around here. My wife handles more of the early feedings, diaper changes, while I contribute from the couch with facial expressions, ridiculous noises, and whatever nonsense gets a reaction out of the baby. I'm a bit of a rumble bus in the morning anyway, so everybody has their role. Mine usually becomes more significant after a cup of coffee. This morning, however, Braden had decided my job description changed. As long as I was standing in front of him, he was happy, bouncing, and giggling in his swing. The second I walked away to make coffee in the kitchen, he started crying. I came back, he lit up again, and suddenly, Grandpa got promoted to essential personnel. So I picked him up, and I brought him with me into the kitchen. Without really thinking about it, I slipped back into a rhythm I hadn't used in years. Baby in one arm, everything else happening in the other. Making coffee, doing whatever needed to get done. Ironically, I've spent the last 20 years training my brain how to navigate with only one eye, so apparently I've been training in advanced levels for grandparent multitasking this entire time. But something happened that I wasn't expecting. I had more energy. My morning hadn't become easier. Technically, I added a small human being to everything I was trying to accomplish. Yet, instead of feeling inconvenienced, there was an impulsiveness in my step that hadn't been there 5 minutes earlier. Somebody wanted my attention, and somehow, giving it to him put something back into me. We talk a lot about the burden of being needed, and there are absolutely times when responsibility can wear you down. But there's another kind that doesn't feel like somebody's taken from you. It reminds you that your presence matters to another human being. That's what I felt standing there holding Braden while trying to make coffee with my free hand. He doesn't care what I've accomplished or whether today's video performed well. He doesn't know about the mistakes I've made or the things I'm still trying to figure out. His entire evaluation of me this morning is incredibly simple. Grandpa is here, I like when Grandpa is here, and I'm going to make my own displeasure known when Grandpa tries to disappear into the kitchen. There's something beautifully uncomplicated about that. See, as adults, we can spend so much time measuring our value that we forget how basic human connection actually is. Then, a baby looks at you for the first time when you leave a room, and suddenly, none of those measurements mean very much. For that moment, your value isn't what you can accomplish for somebody. It's that you're simply there. And because Lexi and Braden live here, this isn't some occasional grandparent experience where I get a concentrated dose of baby time and then everybody goes home. I get to watch this relationship develop in the ordinary moments. I get to see him gradually recognize me, respond to me, and apparently begin developing opinions about whether I'm allowed to leave the room or not. At the same time, I get to watch my daughter become a mother from close enough to see everyday versions of it. Not just birthdays or photographs or milestones we all post online, but the actual work of raising a human being. There's something pretty remarkable about watching somebody you once carried around the house now carrying her own child through it. When my own kids were babies, I couldn't see parenthood from that perspective because I was standing in the middle of it. I was too worried about providing and figuring out what the hell I was doing while actively doing it. Now, I have enough distance to understand how temporary those little moments really are, while also being fortunate enough to have some of them happen under my roof again. That's why I don't know how to properly describe the pride of being a grandparent. The simplest answer is it feels great, but underneath that is a strange awareness of time continuing without everything disappearing behind you. My family isn't moving away from its past, it's adding on to it. The house that once held my children growing up now gets to hold some of my grandson's childhood too. Maybe that's what put so much energy into me this morning. It wasn't really about carrying a baby while making coffee. It was about realizing that getting older doesn't necessarily mean becoming less important to the rhythm of your family. Your role changes, and sometimes the new version introduces itself by giggling at you from a swing and then immediately losing its mind because you dared to walk 12 feet toward a coffee maker. And that's when the morning kept moving, because before 9 o'clock, I was already out here on the trail with the dogs because they still needed their walk. And I've got work later, and all the normal responsibilities waiting for me. Nothing on my schedule disappeared because Braden wanted Grandpa this morning, but somehow I stepped into the rest of the day with more energy than I had before it needed me. That's what I'm taking from it. Sometimes the things that interrupt our routine aren't taking us away from our lives. They're showing us what our lives have quietly become. So thanks for joining me on another Pour a Coffee with Dubs. Until next time, remember that being needed isn't always another weight you're being asked to carry. Sometimes a little hand reaches for you and you realize life is growing around you in ways that you never thought you knew you needed. Now I think Braden's probably crying for me, so I think it's time for me to get out of here. I'll see you tomorrow.